ETH paints.
Hey folks, welcome to another 3D printing Patreon preview. I have 158 campaigns to share with you today. One of them is Vinci Miniatures, who have been working on a great Ratfolk army. I'll show you their newest unit released on Patreon in a few minutes, but these ones are already available on my mini factory. You can also sign up for my Patreon this month to receive their Ratfolk Legionaries, whether you want to start an army or just need a few clan rats for random encounters. Links to all that in the description. Thanks so much to Vinci Miniatures for supporting the channel. Quick content warning before we start. Some of these campaigns contain pinups and objectified models. Link in the description to a video discussing why that needs a content warning. First up, Pixel Chronicle Miniatures has 2 Pokemon, a Final Fantasy monster, and a Kirby boss. This Silver Surfer is the latest model from Fantabulous Miniatures. These are the Queen of Fate, the Queen of Limbo, and some terrain pieces from Isekai Heavy Industries. Channel patron Lost Heresy has a bit of Master of the Trailer Park fan art. Wasn't sure where to place this amiibo holder from Studio DR, but it didn't belong in Star Wars with their other content. From Ethan Savage Studios, here is Claire Redfield from Resident Evil, Dart from Legend of Dragoon, and 5 other characters / snake things. Legion Miniatures has 15 new superheroes and villains this month. .3DXM has a new Casey Jones model. Chibi STL has a Spider-Gwen, a completed Mr. Freeze, and Cad Bane Chibis. This Radioactive Man is the latest model from Trident Studios. Here are some fantastic new superheroes and villains from channel patron C27 Minis and Terrain. This is Lieutenant Chestbleeder and some Outworld Greys from channel patron Papsicles Miniatures. Skullforge Studios has a couple fan art adventurers and stalker beasts. The Surreal Factory has a bust of a sorceress. Dino and Dog Miniatures appears to just make dinosaurs. Do you think they belong here in the statue section or in Fantasy Monsters? This is Lisa the Bard from Ernest Nemirovsky. Here's another preview of Melania from Dinamu 3D. The first August figure from Hell Creator is Kratos. My Poképrince has a new Evolution statue for July. This is The Anointing from Ritual Casting. From channel patron Nom Nom Figures, this is Your Forger from Spy X Family, and Totoro from My Neighbor Totoro. KMFP Designs has new siege armor, defensive turrets, inceptors, and more. Channel patron Tordo Minis has a new Space Jesus model on a scenic base, as well as new Demons of Excess units, Dragon Dynasty units, and more. Greenskin Miniatures has a horde of skellies this month, with swords, spears, bone throwers, and a Lich King. Varus Miniatures has a new Chaos Lord, mounted and on foot. Force Dragon has new Reptilian Flyers, a Mage, Hero, and Priest, as well as Dire Elf Cavalry and a mounted hero. Christian Frank has a new heavy-duty cage with diamond plate pallet bottoms. The first July preview from Daddy Dungeon and Intorni is this Salmistia library furniture. Here's a highway overpass from August McDaniel. The July theme from Admiral Apocalypse is The Hive, with a full set of bases and some terrain basing bits. Niverdale Tabletop has absorbed mini basing and has some mini basing and terrain bits this month. This is the conservatively titled Dangerous Desert from Savant 3D. Here is the completed Date Night set from Darkest Desire. Aether Studios has a new Taroxy class Bird of Prey, and have redone their old Desert and Sand Dunes set. Here's a teaser of the Village Square set that Tiny Furniture Digital is working on for August. Print Minis has a container food truck and medicant station, as well as a cook and some wasteland bases. The latest city in the Dark Realms universe is Vladistov, with several shops and the Majestic Pig Inn. This is the Hauntwoods Scriptorium, the July and August release from Gamescape 3D. Blue Wolf Miniatures has stormtroops, some with jetpacks, and a fighter craft to go with them. These are Belorians, new aliens from channel patron Lost Heresy. This is a Fury Starfighter from Studio DR. Here are some work-in-progress guards, strange people, and musicians from that bar in Mos Eisley. This is Civilian Set number 4 and the Cloud City Capital Guard from Skullforge Studios. From Zirzo Miniatures, these are the Desert Rats. Madram Designs has a few bits to add to their Vaquero buggy from last video. Free downloads from IG include an artillery truck and a hangar. Bob Naismith has 10 new characters this month. Random Miniatures has 5 ninjas this month. This is Work in Progress Commando number 1 of 4 from Spectre Miniatures. Turn-Based Miniatures has some new terrain bits and previews of their next commandos. Here are 2 more weeks worth of Imperial Japanese releases from channel patron Kyoshu Neko Miniatures. This Tombow AV92 is a loyalty reward from Unit 9. These are the Cognate Sovereignty Ironside Vanguard and Highborn Kingdoms Warden Defenders from Alabaster 3D Studios. Here are some modular War Sisters and a Death Division Commissar and Wall Crusher from Daka Daka Store. Channel patron Fantastical Sculpts has started a new wing to their Paladins army, the Paladin Sisters, including attack buggies and work-in-progress Butterfly Wing jump packs. Here's a work-in-progress demon from the Portal of Morrow. Duskrell Miniatures has a collection of 14 Space Dwarfs in heavy armor. This is a work-in-progress Scorp Skulker from Starpharaoh Foundry. These are Mind Eaters from Oshona Minis. For Sci Fi, Reiko Vendetta has a Guard of Rebirth Walker and several new species of alien parasites. Ratman Forge has several cultists or gangsters this month. From channel patron The Hive, here's a new work-in-progress Strider model, as well as their Thundercrash droid from earlier in the month. Mecha Miniatures has a new Orc Jet this month. Channel patron Golden Dragon Games has a work-in-progress shot of a walker for their Concordian Starborn army. These are modular Possessed Demons from Orc King. These are the Sons of Kess, Bloodsworn from Crucible of Games, along with an EDF Owl assault vehicle and the Baleful Halls terrain. Here's another set of Hoverhoggers from Red Nebular, as well as some work-in-progress Orc Grease Kits. From channel patron The Dork Factory, these are Alien Warriors and the Blood Vanguard Gorebots. Imitation of Life Miniatures has 3 new sets of multi-part cultists. Blue Sky Minis has this Jet Bike Boss as part of their July release. Surrogate Miniatures have 2 new troops of Void Jesters and some work-in-progress Midnight Sovereign Marines. Mr. Modulork has new ammo gobs and squad bosses. Edge Miniatures has begun work on a new Dark Jesters army. Here are all the latest Bruisers and Iron Crusaders from Gearguts Mech Shop. Channel patron Papsicles has more of their Space Rambutans, including characters, along with human marines and more of the Omegas to oppose them. From Atlan Forge, these are Egyptian cultists, Gorm the Pious, and Knights Templar Sergeants. From Station Forge, here are new Orcaz Strappos, Grimguard Commissars and Slackers, and a Scavenger Transport Tank. New models from Gomek include a Cult of Mars Praetorian, Forge Father, Iron Breakers, Orc Copters, and more. Here is a preview of the B-Team, coming in August from Cyberforge Miniatures. New models from the Maker's Cult include Heavy Octowalkers, a Plague Priest, and an Archeo Surveyor with an Iron Hound. Pro Crafts has new energy weapons for your Gunpla and a couple Gaslands models. Print, Paint, and Play have a few different species of aliens, as well as a work-in-progress dragon for next month. 3DP Miniatures has a new Outdoorsman, a Pinball Player, a Lawnmower, and Tom Cruise from Top Gun. Sable Badger has new Bioorganic Fleetships, Ectoplasmic Anomalies, and Star Pattern Tile Bases. Vault Z has 2 new characters, Leon and Claire, as well as a creepy zombie prisoner. Gadgetworks Miniatures has a set of 3 Greek hoplites. Fantasy Cult Miniatures has a collection of crossbowmen this month. For historical, this is Sir Henry de Bohun from Medbury Miniatures. These are the Whirling Wizards Fantasy Football Team from Lost Hobbyist Miniatures. Here's a fantasy football team of Ratmen from Reiko Vendetta Studio. Ugni Miniatures has 4 new Primal Lizardmen and a cold-blooded commentator for fantasy football. The Punky Creatures has 2 of Billy Quack's crew members, as well as a couple of busts. Goonmaster Games has some new Fangtastic Flyers and some nice modular ruins. Epic's End Stuffs has 5 new Owlkin adventurers and NPCs. Manuel Boria has a work-in-progress Lionfolk Druid this month. Dice Heads has new crocodiles, frogs, skellies, and terrain. Duncan Shadow has new Foxfolk with spears, Demon Swarm singles, and a free deep one. This is one of the Noctuidea Lanceolaria, a Lady Lancer from Cobra Mode. These are some of the elite hunters known as Berkeley's Butchers from Caleb Makes Minis. Here is a free Odin model from Goblin Art Studios. This is Shader Kai, Bladesinger from Epic Adventure Miniatures. Polygrim has all the employees of a Cyberpunk Bordello for you. Miniatures Blueprint has a steampunk gnome with a clockwork weapon and a human artificer. This is Jacob Sparks from Gang Fight Games. Your Neighbor Night Minis has some camp terrain and townsfolk this month. These are townsfolk from Yanvan by Labyrinth Miniatures. Titan Troll Miniatures has previews of a couple of new adventurers and a couple of busts. Bright Minis has a team of turtles and a squad of goons. For August, Twin Goddess Miniatures is working on Spelljammer Minis. Vevictus Miniatures has a whole bunch of previews of villagers and adventurers from their August release. New models from Mia K include a Barbarian King and the Faceless. This is Bob Moss, a happy little treant painter, along with other patron requests, more standard monsters, and more from The Wild Beyond the Witchlight by MZ4250. Standard Painting has a couple new Priests of Ruin. And Phoenix has 3 classic orcs with crossbows. Realm of Paths has 5 new monsters and 3 new adventurers for you. Stormcrow has 4 new classic monsters and 2 new Magic the Gathering cards. Here's a new ogre from Dungeon Dog Miniatures. KLT Studio has an interesting collection of minis this month. Crypta Studios has The Graveyard of Sorrows, complete with scatter terrain and mausoleum. The latest free monster model from Maps and Monsters is Boss Strong. Arcanum Workshop has a Necromancer and Skellies coming for August. Printed Encounter has 4 new Skellies, both with and without armor. Cross Sciences has several half-orcs for their 2nd July release. Here are 8 new Barbazus for the Legions from Lion Tower Miniatures. Here's a Ratman Cannoneer from Print and Paint Miniatures. Galad Miniatures has a band of pirates, each with alternate weapon arrangements. My 3D Print Forge has a large collection of werewolves and werewolf hunters this month. Here is a teaser of the Solar Seraphim Dragon, coming next month from Void Realm Minis. Print Your Monsters has a collection of giant insects this month. Warp Miniatures is working on Beasts of the British Isles for August. Knucklebones has some Horsebones, the Collector, and a Wizard with a Spellbook. Schlossbauer has more Deep Ones and a Merilith this month. Big Mr. Tong has new Goblins with Swords and Gamorrean Guards. Here's an Orc Archer from Monstrous Encounters. Here is a collection of mostly monster previews from Printed Obsession. A Wild Troll has appeared to go with the unholy trinity that is the July set from Crippled God Foundry. Yasashi Kyojin Studio has new Kobolds ready for download, and Ninja Turtles in the works. Here are 6 new poses, busts, and characters from Great Grimoire. Play Cyanide Miniatures has a collection of pirate sharks this month. Bite the Bullet has an Undead Dungeon this month, with dungeon bosses, skellies, spiders, and more. Here is the rest of Chapter 24, The Forsaken Marshes, from The Printing Goes Ever On. Here is an early preview of The Curse of the Emerald City, August release from Broken Anvil Monthly, as well as a nice 6-month loyalty reward. The Unholy Trinity from White Werewolf Tavern is Greta Fishscales, Rotten Peggy, and Ruth Braineater. Here is the completed Upon the Shoulders of Giants set from Mini Monster Mayhem for July. Here's a teaser of the Beastmen set that Bestiara Miniatures is working on for August. The first August set from Epic Miniatures is titled Secret Minds, with lots of eldritch creatures and Lovecraftian horrors. This Demon Queen is a preview of the August Crater of Infernus release by Lord of the Print. Here's a preview of the Everdark Elves that Titanforge Miniatures is working on for August. Here are several Zomborks and a Necrorkmancer from Orkskull Miniatures. Blue Wyvern has several new pig-faced orcs, as well as a free sample of their Wildfang tribe. The latest Ratmen from Vinci Miniatures are these three Vampire Ratmen. Hollow Miniatures has a new Sylvan Lord on a Stag, a Wood Elf Shapeshifter, and a Phoenix Lord Highborn Elf. These are State Troopers from Magori Miniatures. Dragon's Lake Miniatures has some new Dwarven Rangers, Engineers, Flamethrowers, and a King on a Mountain Ram. Ilhadiel has new Stalkers, Hearth Piercers, a Water Elemental, and Unicorns for their Order of the Ancients army. Clay Beast Creations have a couple new units for the Fallen Beasts army they're working on. Medbury Miniatures is working on Dwarven Warriors for August. Here is a sneak peek of a Wood Elf mounted Banner Bearer from Diwali Games. Reconquer Designs is working on some Gladesmen and some Falconers and Shepherds. Comet Lord Miniatures has an army of Skellies, complete with Ogres and a Ganon the Undying King. This is the Jarl of the Serpent Tribe from Last Sword Miniatures. Asgard Rising has new Dwarven Townsfolk and Female Warriors. Avatars of War has new multi-part Goblin Warriors and a command group. These are the Sons of Ymir, Volume 2 from Highlands Miniatures. And finally, for Fantasy, Gomek has new models for their Persian Ogres and Rune Riders. That's all for now. Huge thanks to all my patrons on Patreon, especially my newest top level patron, Aaron Fegans. I really appreciate you all and couldn't make these videos without you. Check back soon for another Kickstarter countdown. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the videos, and thanks for watching.